Okay, I'm going to do what a lot of people do when they buy an expensive Nikon DSLR like this. I hate this camera. It's a D750. I don't hate this camera. Take really good pictures for me. I want to do a time exposure, but I only want you to expose for the highlights. You know, yeah, this seems really stupid, but the point is that, look at every Nikon, every Canon, every Sony out there is an ignorant piece of crap, okay? Now, a lot of you want technologically advanced cameras, and that's understandable, but how much of that is actually driven by what you think you could do with it versus what you expect it to do for you? And the answer is that I can do as much with a 10-year-old Nikon D700 as I can with this D750. Have I been shooting a bunch recently with the D750? Yeah, I have. I mean, is it my favorite Nikon? That's a toss-up. I mean, I'm equally happy to use this or the D810 or the D7100. The D700 produces unique images, but all of these cameras hate you. Every one of them. They hate you. They don't know what you can throw it in program mode, or I call it P mode, short for puss mode, or douchebag mode. They ought to call it D mode, and you get some moderately good pictures. You know, expose for these cameras. They want to turn everything into gray sludge. Okay, they do. They have face recognition. This one obviously has a flip screen, which is handy for macro and some other things. Now, some other photographers, and I use the term lightly, have said that we need the technology. You need to embrace the technology. Now, I used to be #1 person in the world for tech support on the MacBook Air. I used to build computers. I mean, I've got 7 or 8 computers. It depends what you define. Some of them are in old and bad shape, but I've got like 5 main computers I use all the time. I mean, I've got the best Nikons. I don't have a D4S. I did have a D3. I regret selling it, but it's not about the technology. I mean, I'm only 42. I'm not that old. I certainly embrace the technology. It's not about the technology. You don't need the technology. It's nice to have it. You need the damn skills. When I actually said that a professional with a Barbie camera from Walmart can do more than an idiot can with a Nikon D750, I really did mean that. And that's the God's honest truth, and it is damn out flat true. Other people have bragged about having hundreds of focus points. Do you really think you need that? I mean, 99% of the time I'm using single point and recomposing unless it's action or sports, which I really don't shoot. I mean, some of you are action and sports shooters. You need multiple autofocus points or wraparound autofocus points. You need fast autofocus drives for doing action shots, like someone on the sidelines of a basketball or football game, but all of these cameras are idiots. This Nikon D750 is as much an idiot as a Nikon D4. It's actually a lot more advanced than the D4S. Of course, it's about to be replaced with the D5, but you know, you need to get out of programming. You stop being a drone. You know, you can buy this. Realistically, I mean, what did you spend nearly $2,000 in this camera for? I mean, did you get it to take point-and-shoot pictures, like what I'm actually filming this with? Or did you actually get it to take some advanced shots? This camera hates me. I have to whip it all the time. It doesn't know what I want. Most of the time, like the shots I just got done doing, they were time exposures, in which case the shutter and the exposure on this camera, no matter how advanced it is meaningless. Absolutely worthless and meaningless. I'm sitting there painting with an LED. I'm taking an iPad behind the product. You know, the shutter is meaningless on like a 13-second exposure. You know, I set it so I actually have certain time dilation for me to be able to do all the light layering that I want. So that was set via my aperture. You know, it's allowing in limited light. I could have made the shutter speed, 30 seconds, and the shot would have turned out the same as 13 seconds. After 13 seconds of light exposure, I could have sat there and waited another 18 seconds. The shot would have came out the same, so shutter speed was irrelevant. Exposure, the metering is irrelevant. The point is get your camera out of program mode. You bought this expensive camera, or the D7100, to experiment with. I mean, back in the day, it was expensive to experiment. Okay? It cost money. You had to buy the film, and you had to write down what you did so you didn't screw up again. You don't have to do that anymore. I mean, back in the day, they used to complain in photography school about us, you need to experiment more. Yeah, we know film costs money. That excuse is gone. It doesn't even exist anymore. Hit the play button on your camera. Oh, that's where I screwed up. I'm going to change this, or I'm going to change that. Experiment. Get it out of puss mode. Okay? You bought this expensive camera so you could take some stunning photographs. Layering of light, time exposures. Screw this effing camera. Screw it. Okay? Some of the best photographs I've seen had blur. I don't care if my camera tells me that I need to take it at 1/60th. Screw my camera. I'll throw it in 1/20th of a second on the tripod. I'll catch some blur motion action. I'll take a nice photo. It's right here. Here's your camera, okay? Nikon and Canon and Sony can't sell you a damn thing here other than the tools to exploit what is up here. You create the vision. The ancient Greeks understood this, very intrinsically. It's really a principle that's been forgotten. You think that this camera is going to take good shots? It's not. This camera can't take a single damn good shot. If I stuck it in program mode, okay, the shots would be in focus. So I'm going to take an action shot. Okay, it's got face recognition. Some cameras. Who cares? I don't give a damn. Have I used the flip screen a few times on it? I sure have. Do I need it? No, I don't. You need to embrace expanding your skills, okay? Get rid of this upgrade nonsense out of your head. If you got a D7100 and you want to upgrade to a full-frame camera, fine, do it. And don't suffer under the delusion that this camera for a lot more money is going to do anything for you, because it's not. This camera hates you as much as a Nikon D3300 or a D. It doesn't give a damn. It doesn't know jack crap about photography. It knows what to expose for. It knows how to properly meter, and even then it gets the metering wrong. I mean, it's like, oh damn, I got the metering right, but I wanted to expose for this. Or, you need to exploit the camera. You need to understand every function it's got, and then you need to exploit it, and then you need to forget the camera. There are 3 stages of photography when you advance to an amateur, to an advanced amateur, to a professional. 1 is you learn the skills. 2, you learn it, secondarily, on a secondary level, you learn about composition and light manipulation. 2, you learn the skills. The composition and light manipulation are on a secondary layer. You got a tertiary layer, but let's not talk about that right now. Okay, you need to learn about your equipment, how to manipulate it. Okay, what it is you're doing, manipulation, and then the final step in photography is it gets in your way. Things have to be spontaneous. It's the reason why people practice so much in archery and shooting. It becomes muscle memory. Once you understand the skills about what it means to manipulate light, this camera becomes irrelevant. It becomes an afterthought, like it's an appendage. Okay? You don't think about walking, do you? You don't think about swallowing or breathing while you're completely unconscious and asleep. Your camera has to reach that level. One of the important things of professional photography is that you have to reach a level where this camera becomes an irrelevant tool. It becomes your little whipping boy that you have completely forgotten. Okay? It's like an invisible creature that bends to your will, and you are never thinking about it, and you're never sitting there scratching your head thinking about how you can exploit. You know every facet of how to exploit it. And once you've done that, you need to forget it. Why do you need to forget this camera? You need to forget this camera so you can focus in on your composition and your light manipulation and creating the shot that's up here. Back to that old quote of Ansel Adams about the most important thing in photography is right here. Okay, it's behind the viewfinder. It's not here. Professional photography doesn't have jack shat to do with what's here. Okay, good tools are good tools. Nobody wants to take a picture with a junky lens, but I'd rather have a professional photo shoot done by somebody with a point and shoot than the same professional shot done by an amateur noob using this D750, and that's just the flat out truth. The images will be far superior every time. These cameras, they're all idiots. They don't know a damn thing about a good photograph. They don't know a damn thing about what I want. They don't know a damn thing about what you want. Okay? You don't need the technology. The technology is nice. You need the damn skills. Excuse my language. You need the skills. If you think you need 1,000 autofocus points, you're smoking crack. You're just smoking crack. You're smoking crack. You gotta have the skills, okay? It's not about the technology, it's about the skills. And once you learn this camera, you need to forget this camera. When you say you've forgotten your camera, it's like, oh, so it's my damn camera. You know, you're always focused on the shot, how to manipulate it, what to do to it, how to alter it, how to layer your light. You're never thinking about this damn camera or the damn lens. You're not. If you are, your shots will suffer, and I can see it. The skills take time. It becomes muscle memory. This camera goes from here in your brain, where it's out here. Your shot's out here, and your camera is here. This is what happens when you advance from amateur photography to professional photography. Your shot's out here, your camera's in here. Okay, I'm trying to look at my shot, but I have to focus on how to manipulate my camera to get this shot. I think I kind of know what I want. And here's what happens with professional photography. Your camera is invisible. You're always out here concentrated on the shot. The camera becomes a total muscle memory irrelevancy. This thing is an ignorant POS. Every Nikon from the D3000 up to the D4S is an ignorant POS. It has no idea how to take a good shot. It has no damn idea what you want. There's no wheel on this camera, anyone that knows what the hell you want. Okay? And until you learn that, you're never going to progress. And you also need to get that out of your head. Well, you know, if I buy a much more expensive camera, that my photography skills are going to improve. They're not. They're not. They're just not. You know, it's good to have better tools. You know, I love having this camera because it'll use the older lenses, whereas the Nikon D3000 or 5000 can't. So that's an important thing. That's a technological thing that is almost a necessity for me, but don't need it. You gotta have the skills. Technology doesn't mean a damn thing. You know, I'd rather have a fine chiseled piece of marble by someone using an old hammer and chisel than a 3D generated printout by a technologically advanced 3D printer. You know, that scans in something and print. You know, this is an art. Okay, you gotta have the skills and the composition. Your camera is a stupid POS, every damn one of them. Anyway, thanks for watching that long little diatribe of mine, and I'll catch you later.